Welcome to today's video. I have like sun happening and I'm like not sure what to do with it. It feels so nice. So anyway, today's topic, what I wanted to chat to you guys about today is what influences our body image. So if you guys are watching live with me this morning, please say hello. I would love to say hi back to you. And then if you're watching on the replay, just hashtag replay and I will make sure I come back on later and say hi to you then. So a couple little housekeeping things before I get started this morning. If you guys are watching on Facebook, I would encourage you to head on over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications for each time that I come live. Typically it's 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I miss some days. I am human, but I try to be consistent. So I hope to see you in my videos. On my YouTube channel, you will find all things to do with my self-love at any size method, which is where I help women with things like body image, confidence, self-worth, accepting, respecting their bodies, moving their bodies in a way that makes them feel good, all those kind of things. So we would love to have you over there. And then if you are not in my community already, I have a group called Imperfectly Perfect You. And this is where we take those brave leaps towards finding self-love at any size. There are challenges in there and giveaways and just community support and accountability. And it's just a lovely space. And I am so grateful for each of the women who have added themselves to that space. So anyway, that is that. So let me just bring up my video here so I can make sure I say hi to some people that come on. Just because I don't always see you guys. All right, so let's get into it. So what influences our body image? So this, can be pretty easy to figure out, but I just thought it was an important topic to address and really make you be aware of the things that either if you have less of or are consuming you, that you can kind of step back and be kind of reassess and reevaluate where you are at with your body image and maybe some things you can do to change that. So body image is a really important part of my coaching that I do with my clients. And our body image is linked to so many things that are really connected to how we show up for our lives, right? It affects our self-esteem, our confidence, all those different things. And it's really important to realize the importance of our body image and how that affects so many different areas of our lives, right? I'm just trying to turn my volume down on my phone, but it's not working. Anyway, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I got rid of it. Okay, so when we are talking about body image, some things that influence it. So these can be bad influences or good influences. And so we're going to break it down and just see where these things are coming up and maybe some ways we can start to like I said already, reassess, reevaluate what we are allowing ourselves to be influenced by. So the first thing that influences our body image is our culture. In Western culture especially, there's like a definite preference towards a thinner physique for women, especially. And this preference kind of came about and it was amplified in the 1960s. But, it's gone all throughout the centuries of, supermodels. And, you really saw so many women starving themselves and then eating disorders coming up through TV and media, right? And so since the 2000s, so in the presence of social media has become, very forefront in our lives, it's really kind of amplified and given us like daily access, hourly access, by the minute access of idealized images that have really taken over to such a degree that you can be overwhelmed 24/7 by the culture that has been, placed in front of us when it comes to our body image. Because if you look on the representation of yoga, for example, if you don't really know much about yoga and you're just scanning through, if you type in even hashtag yoga, you are probably going to see probably 95% smaller bodies, which is fine. And that's like yoga is for everybody. It is for small bodies. It is for bigger bodies. But it's just the representation, right? Like it's the lack of representation of, showing that, bodies can do movement regardless of their size. And, that culture really plays such a deep part in our body image and making us feel like we can do things, or we can experience things, or we can even have the confidence or self-esteem. So culture really dictates how we feel about ourselves, based upon what we see. Like, for example, something that I have noticed, that really irks me every time that I type it in is I am a really avid graphic design person. I have some clients, and that is a part of my services that I offer. However, for example, if I am searching yoga in my graphic design program, because they have like, you have access to a library of images, right? So if I search yoga in my images, I search for a long time to find a person who represents my body type. Because a lot of the yoga that I do and what my kind of niche is for yoga is really helping women to feel empowered to be able to do movement regardless of their size, to try out yoga regardless of their size. And so even just in programs like my graphic design program, it's really hard to find images of women who represent a larger size. And so that irks me, number one. If I type in plus size, then I am going to start to see some larger women, but it's like, why can't I type in yoga and find yoga images of all bodies? I want representation from all the bodies, not just one type, right? And so culture plays a big part of that. And I realize that, but that is why we have a very long way to go. And yes, there's been a lot of organizations and like movements that have started, like the Health at Every Size movement and all these different, there is a lot of communities too that are coming to the forefront of really celebrating body image regardless of what you look like, and embracing who you are, accepting and respecting who you are. And I know a lot of people feel differently about, they're saying, like, I know a lot of even my clients, they say, I don't know if I can ever love my body. And I know love is a big word for a lot of people who don't have that love for their body. And I was that person. However, when we flip the switch to accepting and respecting your body, that kind of changes the narrative. So although, promoting body positivity might not be, exactly for you, but just I really love to look at it from this perspective of acceptance and respect. So anyway, I get talking fast when I'm excited about something. So anyway, I love this topic. I could talk about it all day. So moving on. So another way that our body image is affected or influenced is by our self-esteem. And we've kind of already touched on that, but having a healthy self-esteem is has a really big thing to do with our body image. So a healthy self-esteem offers kind of that thicker skin and protection against those external messages. So if you have a healthy self-esteem and you have the confidence, then you're going to buy in less and have more objectivity to the toxic cultural preferences. So you'll feel the less need to conform to the ideal. And and to boost our self-esteem, it's really doing that internal work so that our worth is rooted internally rather than choosing those external things for approval and validation. So when we are able to do the inner work is when we are able to start to improve our self-esteem, which can be a whole nother topic. However, self-esteem really does influence our body image, and it can be, once again, negative or positive depending on how it's going for us, right? So number 3 on how body image, what influences our body image is our family values and our attributes. Or our attitudes, sorry. So, if you grew up around a family who is really, what's the word? If they were really like, size mattered to them and they were always, commenting on how bad they looked or how fat they were or how ugly they were. Like there's all these different messages that we have become our values because we have watched our parents go through those things. And that's a very common thing because society has influenced us to, dieting is the only way to be worthy. Dieting is only the only way to be happy. And so those family values and attitudes that that you grew up with have a part of how your body image is influenced now. And there's also the rivalry of other, the comparison with your values of if you had a family member that was smaller than you, that may have fueled your negative body image. Because if someone in your family was blessed with kind of genetically and, overly praised for this, then if you weren't so genetically blessed, then, your self-esteem may have fallen because of that dynamic, right? So really, your family values and attitudes that you grew up with really can have a high impact on how your body image is now. But the good part is that you are, as an adult, you are able to access that inner healing and do that work and improve that self-esteem and that kind of capacity to be able to not buy into those toxic cultural messages, right? So that is also something that influences our body image. And so then, of course, another thing that has something to do how our body image is influenced is abuse or trauma. If you have experienced any of these things, then this definitely can have an impact on your body image. Early trauma especially can be held in the body and can lead to those feelings of unworthiness or unacceptability. Focusing on changing your body can also be a way to kind of disassociate or numb the painful underlying feelings, right? Although this process may be entirely unconscious. So those are definitely things that can influence your body image in a negative way. That once again, seeking therapy, coaching, counseling, all those things can help with that. And then another way that our body image can be influenced is physical activity, which is an interesting way to look at it, because physical activity, so being active, is very beneficial for our body image, or it can be, right? However, the negative side to this is that there's that pressure to conform to a certain body shape. When you're, if you play a sport or are doing a certain type of physical activity, there is also the stigma that goes with, well, if you're doing that, then you should look like this. I even remember as a smaller, when I was in high school, for example, I loved sports. I did all the sports, right? Anything that I could do, I did, and I did enjoy it. I loved all those things. However, there was always this part of me that was like, oh, well, I play volleyball, so I should look like those volleyball players, but I don't. I had a little bit of a tummy. Looking back, it was clearly my dissociation or my body dysmorphia. I had myself envisioned much differently than I actually was. But however, it is, you always kind of tear yourself apart because you're looking around and comparing yourself. And this happens a lot in the fitness competitions and, ballet or all these type of different physical activities that really have that typical body image. Yoga is also a great example too. If you are a yoga teacher, you should look a certain way, which is really what culture has taught us to think, right? So anyway, moving on from that, the final thing I wanted to talk to you guys about with our body image is, and what influences it, is the acceptance or rejection in relation to your body. So, really, if you've been criticized or rejected for how you look, that can affect your body image. Any kind of forms of bullying or hate towards your body, that can lead to that long-standing emotional wound for sure, allowing you to feel self-conscious, and you often project that onto your body, right? So really understanding how your body image has developed with all these kind of things that have influenced what has made up your current body image. Once you're able to understand all these kind of things that have, all these kind of areas that have really come down to how you feel about your body, it often gives you the opportunity to kind of step back and offer yourself that understanding and compassion to know like, hey, look at all these outside sources that have influenced the way that I'm supposed to feel about my body and how maybe it's not as good as it should be. So like I've kind of already said, like body positivity or body or like complete self-love at whatever size you are, that might not be a realistic goal for you, and that's okay. But once again, I really come back to the message of being able to respect and appreciate your body and have that acceptance and that respect. Those can be really realistic goals to look at and look towards, right? Because I know a lot of my clients, when I say the word self-love, they're like, or body positivity or body, they automatically think like, well, I'm never going to be that person who loves every part of myself. Like, I'm not going to be able to look in the mirror and say, I love every bit of my body. And that's okay. That's the beauty of this, is that it is okay. It's just knowing that, yes, there are parts of you that you may not love 100% all the time, but having that basic respect, having that basic acceptance for this is the body I've been given, this is the body I am in this moment, coming back to the present moment, saying, hey, this is me in this very second. And I need to accept it and I need to respect it. So respecting your body looks like a whole nother array of things that we can focus on, right? Like body respect is about taking care of yourself. It's about moving your body in a way that feels good, fueling your body with things that make you feel good, taking care of yourself in regards to your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health. There are so many different areas that really comes down to the basic respect for one's body, taking care of all these different aspects of ourselves. And not hyper-focusing on one and making that, something that consumes you. That's something I know I used to do. I only was focused on my physical health, on that I needed to lose weight, and that is how I was going to be happy. Or I needed to eat 0 carbs, and that was how I was going to feel happy and worthy and all these things. So grateful to say that I have moved past those feelings. So anyway, I feel like I said a lot of things today. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and that it kind of made you take that step back and realize how your body image is influenced by all these outside sources, and really how you can just really, my main message today is to come back to kindness and compassion for yourself, because that is really what I'm here for. And so before I pop out of here, you guys, I wanted to just mention to you that I have my signature program called the Self-Love Revolution with Martina, which is where this graphic on the screen here shows you all the different aspects that I help you with through my self-love at any size method. That is the method that is used within the program. So we really take a look at body image. Body image is a big part of the work that we do within the program. And, body image is linked to our self-esteem and our self-care practices. But at the same time, we're going to be building community. We're going to be helping you improve your self-esteem, your confidence, helping you find that mindful movement that you love, taking a deeper dive into the world of mindful eating or intuitive eating, helping you to work on your mindset, and just really, adding on to that with our mystic and holistic goals, and practices that really just are beautiful tools that we add to our self-love toolbox. So that program is 40% off right now, you guys. I'm pretty much giving it away. And really my main message with my program, the Self-Love Revolution, is to realize that as we create confident women, we are creating confident families, because we as women are kind of the captains of our ship in our homes. And as we take those brave leaps to do that inner healing and become those versions of ourselves that are confident, that feel worthy, that feel strong, that feel capable, and that have that basic respect and acceptance of our bodies, we are going to be able to, if every woman had that confidence and power and drive and has done all that inner healing to be able to show up for life in that way, it would just be such a beautiful thing to have that ripple effect down to your kids, down to your spouse, down to your family members, and just creating those confident families. And so This program can be accessed for as little as $27 a month, which is, the price of a subscription, but you are gaining lifetime access to coaching and accountability and support. This program is going to be constantly added to, so get in before the price goes up, because there's more coming into that program, and there is such a vision for that program to also help you to find your purpose and go into maybe doing the things that light you up in your life as well. So anyway, that is what I wanted to chat to you guys this morning. So I hope that was helpful. Be sure to check out the description of the video. There is some free worksheets in there that you can download, and you can visit the page for the Self-Love Revolution, join my free community, all those fun things. And so once again, thank you for watching. Please say hello if you saw this, and we will see you guys next time.